Good morning, everyone, and happy solstice. It's Jamie from Independent Street NOLA and Seasons and Ritual, and I'm here on the morning of the winter solstice. It's December 21st. Um, I'm just now drinking my coffee. We're starting this thing bright and early, or as here, kind of gray and early. And then I'm also going to talk about the new moon, the Capricorn new moon on December 23rd. So happy Capricorn season as well. So let's get into the solstice. This is the day that it's the shortest day of the year. We have the most amount of darkness. And I'm really excited to talk about this darkness, and I'm really excited to talk about the sacred darkness. And I think it's so special that we have the solstice today, and we're already in the magic, if you will, of the dark moon that is happening on the 23rd. The solstice is a good day for reflection and to think about how to come in balance. Um, it's it is when we hit a point right in the sky. This is when you can tell I'm very scientific, and we start going towards the light. And a lot of times, and doing this for years, and just being a human, we always talk about the dark of winter, and it's interesting because once we hit winter, it's actually when we start going back towards the light. But I do feel like we overlook the dark, and for good reason. We weren't told it was a good place to be, and a lot of times we have always say, I've been in a dark place, and it wasn't a great place. We didn't feel very good while we were there. And so this is just a little video to help rethink that idea and understand that, yes, we do go to dark places and we do feel dark, but this here is to celebrate sacred darkness. And the feminine represents the dark. The feminine represents the womb. The feminine represents creation. And it doesn't matter how you present. We all have feminine and masculine in us, you guys. So, take it for what it is. We all have this. And so, this time of year, grief is really heavy. People really start to see how they can't go on in a certain situation, or with certain themes, or with an idea that they think society thinks they're supposed to be a certain way. And I get it, and I see it, and I hear it, and I felt that. I felt that before, and it's important to really notice that and see what your soul is saying. And what your soul is saying and trying to make you understand is that you don't have to keep trying to fit in with that charade. It is time for you to let go and to grieve that you're probably never going to be like a fake narrative that society tells you you were supposed to be like in order to succeed or thrive, because those were lies. The patriarchy is real. It didn't do any favors to men or women. And, it is. It's like being hit by a 2x4, or they make you feel like you're failing because you're not fitting this fake narrative that they want you to believe that you're supposed to be in. I'm on social media, not as much, but I am on there, and I see people, and they are hurting, and they're like, I don't fit in, and I'm diagnosed these things, and it's so hard for me to be in quote unquote society. And I hear you, and I see you, and I implore to you, you don't have to keep trying to make it work in that direction. Show up as your authentic self. I would say in astrology, Chiron's gone direct. Understand that, yes, maybe you have been diagnosed this, or maybe you do miscues and all these things, but you start to accept that as that's who you are, and that's great, and that's okay, and that's what makes life worth living, because we all are different people. For all my friends and all of you that are in narcissistic relationships, or codependent relationships, or codependent families, or you've left a codependent situation, and you've been doing well, and maybe at this time you're starting to have some survivor's guilt, or you're the rock that's always been making sure everyone else has been going to different therapies and things like that. Check in with yourself. You decide if you need to go to a therapy. You decide if you need to go talk to a bunch of people, or read a new book, or get a support group online or whatever. This us moving forward is about putting ourselves first and checking in with what we need, and checking in with the idea that, oh wait, I get to take care of myself. I don't have to super sleuth and Carmen Sandiego, my narcissistic partner, and try to figure out what the hell they've done with all our money, or where the shit they're spending all their time anymore. No, you can start putting yourself first, and that is what the sacred darkness is for. The sacred darkness is to sit and look around and really say, what am I bringing forward? And what am I leaving in the darkness? And you can start making those intentions, moving forward, I'm intending on putting myself first. Moving forward, I'm intending never to be around this narcissist again. Moving forward, I am intending to get a little more help that maybe I need about growing up in a codependent family. Or I'm intending to see if I can find, no, let's not say that. I'm intending to find the right therapist that's going to help me put these things in the past for good. I'm setting the intention to understand how special I am and my gifts that I bring to society just by showing up every day and being my authentic self. This to me is what the sacred darkness is for. You have to sit and really, you might cry, and that's okay, but really see what you're putting to rest, what you are planting in the loamy soil to be transmuted in order to become fertilizer for the spring. And then now we get to move into this beautiful new moon, the dark moon, which is on the 23rd of Capricorn. And so I feel like we're very lucky. We have the 21st, the 22nd, the 30th, in the 23rd, all of just darkness, right? And, this is not quite literally because, degrees wise and all that stuff. But, in the new moon, in the dark moon is where we set these intentions. And the dark moon is, again, that masculine and feminine coming together for creation. And so it's a really special time to start creating how we want to move forward, what we want to take with us. We don't have to take ghosts with us. We don't have to keep feeding ghosts. We don't have to keep feeding old ideas. This is the time in the winter where we lay down our burdens, because if we have to keep nourishing things when during the winter resources start to dwindle, what is it that you want to nourish? What intentions do you want to nourish? What ideas do you want to nourish? Even if you're not 100% sure what you want to bring forward, I'm pretty sure you're going to know what you don't want to bring forward. So that's a good list to make. This is what I'm not bringing forward. And let that be gone. Set that. Capricorn is the sign of work. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn does want balance. Saturn wants stability, right? And if all these old ideas or old thoughts or old situations are keeping you out of balance, those are good signs that you don't need to bring that forward. And you can start setting those intentions to figure out the best path forward in order not to bring those forward. I find it interesting that Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is immutable. And so, which I think is great, because Sagittarius is fire. And I feel like it's interesting because, Sagittarius gets us from fall into winter. And it's almost like Jupiter, whose expansion has to work almost not at full speed, right? Being mutable, it's got two things to do. It's got a certain job. And then we go into Capricorn season, which is Saturn. And Saturn is like, we're here, okay? Jupiter gave us all these great ideas. Jupiter gave us all this great ideas. Sagittarius lit us up. Now we know how to do it, or now we've got plans, or now we see what we want to leave behind. And then Capricorn comes in, and Saturn says, okay, well, let's figure out how to do this. Let's figure out a stable way to move this forward. Let's look and see what makes us feel unstable. And if certain relationships are making you feel unstable, certain thoughts and ideas about yourself are making you feel unstable, certain situations are making you feel unstable, well, now you get to work with Capricorn. And like we said, Capricorn is that sea goat. Capricorn is going to help you get through all obstacles because it doesn't see any. Even if we as humans see it, the energy of Saturn and this energy of Capricorn is here to help move us through, help us say, yeah, hey, you know what? If you just kind of make a list, I like making lists, by the way. If you kind of make a list and you kind of see what isn't working, that gives you an idea of what you need to work on in order to make yourself stable, in order to make yourself move forward. And like I said, I feel like we're very lucky to have these 3 days of sacred darkness to really, really work on this. 2023 is the year of the Chariot, and I am super excited about this. This year, 2022, was the year of the Lovers, and I really believed that showed us how and where we weren't being our own best lover, and also how and where we were seeing where we weren't being loved by others, right? Or situations, or the patriarchy. And now it's kind of like, oh, I have a different perspective. And then we're going to move into this year of 2023, which is the year of the Chariot, which is going to be determination, some discipline. It's going to be focused. If you think about what you have to do in order to ride that chariot, you need focus. And it's not going to be, you just have to be focused, okay? We don't have to worry about we're not going to have to do, it's not like drill sergeant focused, okay? But it's how we're going to be surprised that how much we can get done when we decide I can be focused. So we can work with that energy, and we can start working with it a little bit now. We can get into that idea of it now in this time of darkness with this sacred darkness. The Capricorn new moon on the 23rd is 1 degree of Capricorn, and that is a karmic point. I can't tell you how much the heavens are lining up in order to help us show up as our authentic selves. Helen and I just did the weekly chat, and towards the end, we talk about the placements. I should have wrote it down. It's on my computer. But that towards the end of the week, right around this new moon, the way the planets line up, it is allowing us to show up as our authentic self. It is allowing us to say like, hey, you just can be you, and you can be okay with that. And you can tell people, I am blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I don't get jokes, I can't smell. I have no smell, all these things. It freaks them out. That's their problem. Whatever. That's just you being you, You can just start saying, I'm not going to keep putting up with codependency in my life. I've been the one who's trying to keep it all together, and it makes me feel like shit, so I don't have to do this anymore. And all these things are okay. And if you need help with these, look for chat groups, look for therapists, look for, healers, look for, there's so much information for people to help you. There's so many people who are going through like-minded situations as you, reach out, see that they're there. There is no need to carry guilt and shame into the future when it comes to anything, quite honestly. These are man-made constructs to get us to act certain ways. And I mean, most of the people that watch my channel have normal social graces and things like that. So, I'm not worried about that. But this is going to these, core wounds or childhood wounds that it's okay to heal, and it's okay not to bring forward. So use this time of sacred darkness embrace the darkness, embrace that this can be a time and is a time of creation. You know, this is part of the holiest of holidays for many, many people. And I do think it's really beautiful if we go to this idea that things do get really dark, and then what is born in all of us, no matter what you believe, is this light that, oh, wait, we can change. We don't have to bring things forward. We are co-creators, you know, we are creators. And what we're creating is this new sense of being moving forward. So happy holidays, everybody. Have a beautiful solstice. Have a beautiful Capricorn new moon. I can't stress enough. It's at 1 degree. It's a karmic point. We are moving into the new. And so if you've got to cry and you've got to be scared and think like, I don't know how I can do this, it's okay to think those things, you know, because the reality of it is we will get answers to move you forward. You know, it's just being brave enough to let things go and just saying, I don't want to do this anymore. Grieve, cry. The darkness will take it and transmute it, because that's what the sacred darkness is for. It is for this creation. So happy holidays. Everyone take a few deep breaths and then really take note of what you're not going to bring forward, and then set those intentions of what you will bring forward. Okay, guys, see you soon. If you need anything, reach out. YouTube, Instagram, emails. I'll be keeping an eye on all those things.